Bore da Plant, and welcome to your first Christmas assembly of the week, Monday the 14th of December 2020, and the first time we've ever filmed an assembly and sent it into your homes. But 2020 has been a year for the first in many things. This week you would have been in school and you would have been undertaking lots of fun Christmas activities. You would have been having lots of Christmas assemblies. And so the activities that have been sent home for you by your teachers focus on Christmas, and the assemblies this week will also focus on the Christmas story. After you've listened to today's assembly, you can take part in some physical activities, either by the link we've sent you to Joe Wicks, or for some of the younger classes, perhaps using cosmic yoga for kids. However, you can do any type of exercise that you want. As I said, this week we would have been undertaking lots of Christmas activities at home, and this week is a week to learn from home. It isn't an extra week on your Christmas holidays. Your teachers will be sending you work on your Hub accounts. So, as I said, once you've listened to assembly, you can undertake your exercise, and then you can log into Hub and undertake some of the wonderful Christmas activities and learning themes that the teachers have provided for you for the week. Now, a message for parents as well. You will have a phone call from your child's class teacher during this week, and that will be to check how you're getting along with the home learning that's being sent home. Of course, if you've got any questions and issues, all you have to do is email your class teacher, and those emails are available from the letter that was sent to you last week, and also on the letter that's placed on our school website. But back to the assembly. I want you to think, what is your favourite part of Christmas? Is it spending time with your family? Perhaps it's giving presents to others. Have you ever travelled to a very busy place? Perhaps you had to spend a lot of time in a queue. Our story today is set in a very busy place and a noisy place called Bethlehem. Mary and Joseph stopped for a moment. They had been travelling for many days, and they were both very glad to finally come to the end of their journey. Mary was expecting a baby, and their hometown, Nazareth, was about 70 miles away. And we might think that this was the worst possible time for them to be travelling. However, they had not chosen to go. They had been ordered to go by the Emperor Augustus. He had decided that he needed to know how many people were living on his land. And therefore, everyone had been told to go back to the place where they were born to be counted. Joseph had been born in Bethlehem, and so he had come to Bethlehem. They had stopped on the hillside above the city. There was no sound. All was quiet, and they looked ahead at the lights. "It looks so calm and peaceful," said Joseph. Joseph couldn't have been more wrong. Bethlehem was not calm and peaceful at all. Mary and Joseph were not the only people who had travelled to Bethlehem. There were many others who had come to be counted too. Lots of the travellers had relatives living in the city, so there was a great deal of noise and excitement as families came together again. It was the custom at that time that guests brought gifts with them, which only added to the excitement. It was also the custom to make sure that your guests never went hungry, and so there was plenty of food being bought and prepared and served, and Mary and Joseph walked into the middle of this hustle and bustle. Maybe Joseph's family were no longer living in Bethlehem, or maybe his relatives didn't have space for him to stay with them. But for whatever reason, Joseph found himself knocking on doors, asking one innkeeper after another the same question. "Please, have you any room for us? We need a place to stay tonight. My wife is going to have a baby." But remember, Bethlehem was a very busy city at that time, and Joseph heard the same reply again and again. "I'm sorry, we haven't a place for you. All of our rooms are taken." Well, imagine you were Mary or Joseph. You've travelled a long way and you are very tired. You would love a good night's sleep, but you can't find anywhere to rest. How do you think you'd feel? "We have to keep trying," said Joseph, as he knocked on yet another inn door. The innkeeper answered the door and explained that he didn't have any room in his inn. Mary and Joseph's hearts sank, but the innkeeper continued to speak. However, I do have a stable next to the inn. It isn't much, but at least you will be warm and dry tonight. Mary and Joseph thanked the innkeeper and followed him to the stable. Mary did give birth to her baby boy that night. At first, she and Joseph were the only people in Bethlehem to know what had happened, but that soon changed. In the fields just outside Bethlehem, some shepherds were taking care of their sheep. Suddenly an angel appeared. Of course, they were frightened, but the angel reassured them by saying, "Don't be afraid, I am here with good news for you." The angel told them that Jesus had been born in Bethlehem and that they could find him lying in a manger. Seeing one angel was amazing, but the shepherds could hardly believe their eyes when he was joined by a whole group of angels. They were singing to God and thanking him for the baby Jesus. The shepherds didn't need any more encouragement, for as soon as the angels had gone back into heaven, they left for Bethlehem. The shepherds weren't the only ones to find Jesus. Some wise men came from far away. They had studied the stars for many years, and one very bright star had caught their attention. They had followed the star, and when it stopped over the place where Jesus was, they stopped too. The wise men knew that Jesus was special, so they knelt down in front of him and gave him the presents they had brought with them. And so we come to the end of our story, the Christmas story. Today's assembly has the title, Is There Room? On that first Christmas night, there was lots of noise and excitement, and there were people travelling, people meeting relatives, gifts being given, and lots of food being eaten. On the first Christmas night, there was no room for Jesus. Mary and Joseph knew that Jesus was special. The shepherds and the wise men knew that Jesus was special, and they took time to go and see him. Nobody else in Bethlehem made room for Jesus. They didn't take the time to go and see him. Well, when we celebrate Christmas, there's often noise and excitement. We may travel to see friends or family. We buy and wrap presents, and we buy and prepare food. This year will be different. Perhaps we won't see as many family members as we would like. Perhaps we won't travel, and perhaps things will be a little bit different. However, it's good to reflect on the story. Remember the first ever Christmas, the hustle, the bustle, the special, special time. And I hope you've enjoyed. And the rest of the week, we'll have lots of other Christmas stories too. We'll learn a little bit more about what happened, and we'll think about what Christmas really means to Christians and to everybody else who celebrates it. But to finish, as always, we will finish with our school prayer. And usually we get year 6 to lead us, but today, because they're all in the house, we'll have to do it together. But we will all pray. This is our school. Let peace dwell here. Let the rooms be full of contentment. Let love abide here. Love for one another and love for life itself. Let our school be a lovely place where all of us are caring to each other, to work our best and show our smiling faces, staff and children helping one another today and always. And as you're in the house this week, make sure you are good and kind and caring towards mums, dads, carers, whoever's looking after you. And remember, at the end of this assembly, make sure you find some time to exercise. Make sure we eat healthily during the week. Make sure you log on to Hub and get to take part in all of the lovely Christmas activities that your teachers have sent you. So it will be just like a normal week in school. Have a lovely week, and I shall see you tomorrow with another video. But as I always say to end my assemblies, over and out.